they would know the time they will harvest on time. Then poor post-harvest handling. If you travel around the avocado growing counties, you'll find a lot of avocado on the highways, on the markets, exposed to sun, and that reduces the quality of this avocado. And finally, on the farm level, is non-compliance of handling and quality requirements. Your Excellency, we are talking on the sidelines of a recently signed economic partnership agreement. And we have opened our country to over 600 million people in Europe, 27 countries. And I think I want to thank CS Rebecca Miano for facilitating this. So we have a huge opportunity if we handle this. On the domestic market, Your Excellency, we have low avocado household demand. We have high perishability and low avocado value addition. In the room here, we have a few people who do value addition. And we will be hearing in the program next what Senator will be conducting. And then we have lack of linkages of possible off-takers in the local market. The third category of issues are international market exports. And this is a place then Ministry of Trade and the Ministry of Cooperatives will work together to explore traditional and new markets. And we've seen our potential is in the new markets. The high cost of freight, the freighters are here, they will speak to us. The current situation in the Red Sea is also a problem. The highly competitive market in Europe, the stringent market requirements. Again, this is an issue we'll have to work with the Ministry of Trade, because accessing markets abroad, some of them, if I give you an example, Your Excellency, despite India and China markets being open, these countries require fumigation of fruits with methyl bromide, which adds to our cost. The shelf life of fumigated fruit is also reduced. Again, that is an issue the Ministry of Trade will be helping us to unlock. Then the India charges over 30% custom duty on Kenyan avocado, and the global market risk, commercial disputes, the non-payment of deliveries. Again, this is why the Minister for Trade is here. A number of exporters here are still owed money. Finally, on that, the fourth final category is the proposed interventions, although we're not limited to these ones, is to increase production from the traditional counties, the 32 counties led by Murang'a, and the non-traditional producing regions. We have new potentials in our counties. Where we grow coffee is also a region or an area for growing avocado and even macadamia. The other one is to invest in research and development and support establishment of pack houses. I know HCDA have a number of outlets or packing houses and cold storage facilities across the country, but they are not enough. As a Ministry of Cooperative, we look at aggregating and putting together. For example, if we went to Murang'a, we come up with about 4 or 5 big cooperatives and possibly support them through that aggregation with the cold facilities, with the management, and with the extension. Then we need to invest in market diversification. The MD said it, Middle East, Far East, Africa, and under AFCTA. The value chain actors to adopt best practices, and then human resource capacity at HCDA is also very low. They need to be supported, and the budgetary possibly will also need to be supported. So having given you that background and the high-level brief by HCDA, Your Excellency, allow me to move the program to the next stage. We hear a few stakeholders. Let's hear their feedback, their practice, their experiences, their challenges from the participants or from the players. So let me take this opportunity. Let's appreciate Senator Murango, who will conduct that program and run the program. and then we can also manage time so that I can now invite the CS, the PS and CS, and then we can invite His Excellency. Thank you. Karibu sana. Let's appreciate him.
Asante sana Waziri Chagua, Mheshimiwa Naibu wa Rais, mawaziri wote walioko hapa, itifika zote zikizingatiwa. Hamjambo tena. Kwanza Naibu wa Rais, nataka tukushukuru kwa sababu ya hii kongamano kupanga na tukakuja zote hapa tutafute suluhu ya kero tulilo nalo kama wakulima mparachichi. Na bila kupoteza wakati, mimi ndio nitakuwa mweka ratiba wa kipindi tulicho nacho kwa sasa, na nitachukua nafasi hii kuwaita wakulima, na nitaita mkulima Joseph Karim aongee jambo, na naomba akiongea jambo nikiita mkulima mwingine usirudie, kwa sababu tutakuwa tushana akili ambayo atakuwa amesema. Karibu sana Joseph.
Asante sana Bwana Mheshimiwa kwa kunipa hii fursa. Your Excellency Mr. Deputy President, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. For you, your cabinet secretaries and the permanent secretaries and farmer colleagues and the exporters, I honor you all. I would like to go straight to contributing to issues that I think are important for farmers. I am a farmer from Tarbo, Uasin Gishu. I represent about 300 farmers, 350 farmers that have organized themselves. So far we have 1,500 acres under avocado and growing rapidly. Growing very, very rapidly. It may not take even less than more than 3 years to overtake Moranga, if I may put it that way. It's good, it will be healthy competition. Before we arrived here, Your Excellency, there was a lot of discussion around e-teams, tax, and all that. I will not want to venture into that. I will want somebody else who is more articulate. But just to mention, to say that as farmers of avocado, we are just at a very nascent stage. We don't want a lot of noise. We pay a lot of taxes through inputs and all that goes into it. We would like this crop or this subsector to be developed. It's only when it is fully mature and developed that we can have a discussion around how we can contribute. But so far, I think based on the statistics that the CEO has shared, it has the greatest potential to transform the economy of this country, alleviate rural poverty, and really make Kenya a different country. A statistic that was missed was when I check what is available, Your Excellency, Mexico produces close to 3 million tons of avocado. We are number 5, number 6. Your statistic was around 500 that we produce. You mentioned a figure like 148. I don't know whether that's for export, but I want to imagine that we should export the bulk of it. With that rapid growth, Your Excellency, and the fact that when you look even at our national concern, Kenya requires about $1.9 billion to $2 billion per month for our export bill. This crop has the potential to really help in earning this country foreign exchange. And as farmers, we would like to contribute to that through this product. One of the issues that is affecting us, Your Excellency, is we would not like to see what affected the coffee sector, what affected the dairy sector, to get into this. We would like to get it right first time. 1 kilogram of coffee, dried coffee, we don't produce a lot of coffee in the Rift Valley. When you do some economics, I think it produces maybe 300 cups of coffee, each sold, I don't know how many dollars per cup abroad. How many gets to the farmer? Very little of that. Milk, a farmer is paid 40, 50 shillings now, but the consumer pays 120. How about avocado? Avocado is not like milk. It doesn't go through a lot of processing with respect to exporters and pack houses. I would imagine there is some processing, of course. But the fruit gets to the consumer table the way it came to from the farm in terms of its original content. So the question is, there is some mistrust, Your Excellency, speaking from the farmer side, as to whether the farmer is getting a fair value for what is being paid for the fruit abroad. What I would like to see as a farmer is that here as farmers, aggregators and exporters, we should not be competitors. We should be one team, saying how much value should we bring to Kenya? How can we get this fruit or production from Kenya move from number 6, number 5, and not just a distant 5, but very close to the 3 million tons produced by Mexico? The only way we can do that is by having that fair value getting to the farmer, so that, Your Excellency, you can get a lot of youth. One of the biggest things you'd like to do is to get a lot of youth to be involved in agriculture. This is a form of agriculture the youth can be involved in. And the only way we can do that is creating employment by getting the most value to the farmer. So what we request, Madam CEO, what we request is this: give a proper advisory every year, every season, as to what should be the fair value, not to control the price, but just a fair value. What should the farmer get? We will trust you as our government, because this time the price is 50 shillings. A farmer said the other day was paid per kilo, another one 150. So trust is lost. Give peace to the exporters, give fairness to the aggregator, but please take care of the farmer by making sure the farmer gets the best value. How can we know that? The way you share statistics about sales and volumes, share the statistics about the value chain. What should the farmer get? Then we as farmers can be sure that we've been taken care of. I hope that is clear, Your Excellency. Now, when we try to take this fruit to the pack houses, to the exporters, there's a lot of rejection for fruit. We would like some care for the farmer, that this exporter or this buyer, can he get to the farm, evaluate the crop in the farm, and part with the farmer at the farm gate? Because the moment you've taken the fruit to the pack house and then some fruits are rejected, where do you take that fruit, Your Excellency? And this is a perishable crop. So we would like a situation where the farmer is taken care of by the majority of his fruit being accepted. Not to accept poor crop, but a lot of investment has gone, Your Excellency, in production side. We have very qualified agronomists that advise us. We have very good people that come and check and say, this is how you produce good quality crop. But then we don't have the fairness in terms of selection of the crop that goes to the pack house. One of the farmers told me that he took his crop, then when they were rejected and say this 40% is not good, when he received them, they are not the same fruits that left his farm. So we need that care of the farmer, and the only way we can develop that is by the government taking care of us. So 2 ways that I would suggest. We had the other day Kisii County developed, and it's sad I have not had somebody here from Kisii, oil processing, two more. Oil processing is what we would like actually to be, we would like to be assisted in that format, so that whatever doesn't get to the export market can be processed. There's a lot of demand for cooking oil, which we import. There's a lot of demand for that avocado oil for cosmetics. Where do we process? So let the government assist in terms of providing incentives for investors to come and invest in certain processing plants. And finally, Your Excellency, this fruit has been promoted as very good diet, very good healthy food. Can it be promoted in a country to be consumed internally, so that we create a good internal market? Some of the deficiencies in children, in the youth, in terms of the quality of food that they eat, what's wrong with promoting it as part of what can be given in our schools as school feeding programs? And we create a very big internal market and a new generation that can move away from junk and get into healthy living. That is the quickest I can summarize my points. But thank you so much for giving us this opportunity.
Ninayempatia nafasi ni Priscilla Nyokabi. Tafadhali fanya summary kwa kila kitu tunaongea kwa sababu ya muda. Tuko wengi. Karibu Priscilla.
Asante sana, Your Excellency, Deputy President, our ministers, our members of parliament, our peers. Naongea kwa niaba ya wakulima wa Nyeri County, ambapo hata sisi tunakimbiza Murang'a katika namba ya kukuza parachichi. In Nyeri County, we are now at 14,946 metric tons, and in 2022, 896.7 million. we are looking to grow that in a big way. Our key issues are: one, a harmonized tax regime, a single tax as far as possible, simplified, and in relation to Article 2095 of the Constitution, the tax that allows the product to move, and county by county there is harmonization of that tax. That's going to spend a lot of time, and already the members of parliament are on it on the reforms. Awareness, when that tax comes, if it is eatings, if it is spin, a lot of awareness, but as far as possible, the tax higher up in the value chain, not on the primary producers. In terms of aggregation centers, and we are very happy with the private aggregators, including in Nyeri, but county-based aggregation centers. Narumoru, where Waziri we have the county industrial park, the KAIP is in Narumoru, but also Ambogo Farm, which is much better nearer the highway, together with value addition at county level. On support to counties, farmers mobilization, we still need a lot of groups, a lot of cooperatives, but also incentives. There was a fund for avocado farmers, the Safer Fund, but we need more funds and incentives. The average age of a farmer in Mount Kenya and other regions is 63 years. We are proposing, Your Excellency the Deputy President, that women and youth are more involved in this sector. More women, and we are saying women is sure bet. So more sure bets and more young people in this sector as well. Traceability mechanism, because of the problem of immature avocados, we prefer a traceability mechanism for all our avocado farmers. When the avocados are from Nyeri, they can be traced to Nyeri, from Murang'a, from everywhere, so that traceability mechanism deals with the issue of quality and also helps us with the requirements in the EU standards. On the markets, China still remains a potential market, changing to unripe instead of the frozen, the unripe fruits, the unripe avocados with a number of days for their ripening. But as far as possible, and I'm very happy also about the EU EPA, the 27 member states, the EPA market and the EU market, I think that needs to be our biggest challenge. And we promise that this sector will grow in many, many ways. And lastly, Your Excellency the Deputy President, the farmers of avocado are also farmers of coffee, so fertilizer for the coffee farmers, and using avocado for afforestation. Remember, avocado is also a tree within our environment and greening and tree sector. So just looking at all that, I don't know what you call it in government, the one sector approach, so looking at avocado also to address other problems that have been in other sectors, including coffee, but making sure that the fertilizer does get to the farmers on time. Nyeri can actually do the two crops and we can have the delayed crop. So in Nyeri, we're also looking forward to joining the rest of the country in making the avocado the best crop. And just lastly, for me, private sector led, as much private sector as we can have in this sector. Some government support, county government support, but very largely private sector led. Thank you very much, Deputy President. Na leo pia naomba sisi tuko hapa tupewe parachichi.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Nyokambi. Sasa nitampatia nafasi Hassan Warindwa. Karibu.
Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya and all protocols observed, good afternoon. Mr. Deputy President, first of all, by us being here, we are very happy, and at the same time, we are very disappointed by what has happened in this finance bill. MPs wako hapa wamejitetea, lakini kama wakulima tunakataa mlichotuambia. Mkipewa karatasi kubwa ambayo mnafaa kuangalia a document, kama huo muda ikutoshi, sema haiwezekani, nataka mwaka moja, mwaka mbili niangalie. Usipitishe kitu ambacho kinazurudisha mali kama hii. Hapa kuna wafanyabiashara, kuna wakulima ambao wangekuwa wanafanya kazi nyingine sahihi. Mwingine angekuwa anakamua ng'ombe yake, mwingine angekuwa anaangalia avocado yake. So kuna shida ambayo tunayo pande hii. Kitu ya kwanza ni kuwa teams vile inavyopitishwa kwa wakulima pale ambapo wanakaa. Kitu ya kwanza, hatujafikisha huduma za kutosha. Wengine hawana stima, wengine teknolojia hawana ya kisasa, na pia huyu mkulima analipa ushuru kwa kile kitu ambacho ananunua. Hii fertilizer ambayo tunasema ni subsidized, hatuioni mali iko.
kuna madawa kwa parachichi ambazo zinafaa kutumika, ndio tuweze kuiangalia. Mwenzangu aliyekuwa hapo mbele yangu amesema kuwa kuna zile madawa za kuangalia black spots na vitu kama hizo. Hizo madawa pia ni bei kali. Na kwa hivyo inamaanisha nini? Inamaanisha huyu mkulima tukimkata ushuru county, lakini county hawaangalii mkulima. Kazi yao ni kuangalia barabara ili mara tupate pesa kwa mfuko amalizane nayo. Tuna huzuni sana kwa hiyo. Alafu kitu kingine ambayo ndugu alikuwa ameongea hapa ni kuhusu rejection of produce. Personally mimi ni mkulima na pia mimi ni exporter, na ningependa kusema kitu moja kuhusu rejection of produce. Ni pande ya serikali imetuangusha. Kwa nini? Hizi extension services zinafaa kuwa zinapeana kwa mkulima. Huyu mkulima aweze kufunzwa kuanzia mwanzo mpaka mwisho, hiyo avocado na ipalilia namna gani, unafaa uiangalie vipi, na ni muda gani unafaa kukana hiyo avocado kabla ukate kwa mti. Maana exporters wengine ambao wako hapa watakwambia kwa avocado inafaa kuwa inakaa mwezi 6 kabla iweze kutolewa kwa mti, lakini wakulima wengi hawajui hivyo. Inafika mwezi 4 anakata, anaenda nayo. Na pia Madam Christine Chesaro ako hapa, anaweza kukusaidia kwa hapo kwa mambo ya extension, na ana timu nzuri itamsaidia. Na pia the same time hana watu wa kutosha kufanya kazi. Sasa kwa exporters wanafaa kwa kila consignment kabla iende lazima wafanye kitu inaitwa inspection. Na hii inspection inafanywa na HCDA na inafanywa na KEFIS. Unapata mara KEFIS wanakuambia hawana magari, HCDA pia hawana watu wa kutosha kufanya hiyo kazi. Kuna shida. Na the same time hii mzigo kwa port ina wakati ya kuingia. Sasa kwa sababu ya serikali imetufail kwa pande moja, hii mzigo yangu ya milioni 3 itawachwa na mkulima atakosa kulipwa, itakuwa namna gani? So kwa hivyo tunaomba sana mtuweze kutuangalia kwa pande hiyo. Na pia Your Excellency, hii sekta ya avocado imeweza kuajiri vijana wengi sana, na hii masuala ya e-teams itaangusha hii biashara. Na itamaanisha nini? Vijana hao wote kwa ile kazi nzuri ambayo wameweza kufanya watarudi kwa madarati. Maana watakosa kazi ya kufanya. Huyu mkulima ukimpata hiyo ushuru, hakuna kazi ataweza kufanya. Atakata miti na arudi nyumbani afanye kazi nyingine. Hii sector imeemploy vijana wengi. Actually I think I'm the youngest exporter in Kenya. Na mimi pia ni mkulima. Na naweza kuelezea kuwa hii sector imeshikilia vijana wengi sana. Mimi niko miongoni mwao. So tungeomba bakala vitu vingine zifanywe, muweze kuongea na washikadau kabla hii mambo ya e-teams ifanywe. Pia kama ni kwa parliament, muite washikadau, si wana muite wakulima, muite aggregators, muite exporters, waweze kuongea pale na waweze kueleza hizi vitu zinaweza kuweza kufanywa. Maana siasa na ukulima na biashara ni vitu tofauti, ndio zina uhusiano, lakini lazima tuone njia tufanye kazi kwa kimoja ndio tuweze kuendelesha hii nchi kupeleka mbele. Na ndugu yangu alikuwa ameongea pia kuhusu bei ya matunda. Acha niachilie exporter kidogo. Hii bei ya matunda huwa inadiktetiwa na ile soko ambayo iko pale nje. Matunda ikiwa kidogo, bei inakuwa juu. Ikiwa mingi, bei inaenda chini. So ni kila mtu anapata kwa every person gets the right amount at the right time. Na pia mkulima pia nyinyi mkiweza kumsaidia na mumpe extension services na quality ya Kenya iende juu, tutapata bei nzuri. Asante.
Daktari Jeremiah Ng'ang'a.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency. My name is Colonel Retired Dr. Jeremiah Ng'ang'a. I am a farmer from Murang'a. I started my farming journey on the 2nd of November 2018, and I was very happy because on 9th of December 2022, my farm in Kikumo was declared the best orchard in Kenya during the Avocado Excellence Awards in that particular year. But since then, I've been able to, I had only 300 trees, but I've been able to increase the population up to 1,800 today. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, I want to thank you because of this particular conference. And we all agree one thing. The world is in love with avocados. That is a fact. Because of its high nutritional value and multiple health benefits. And because of this, when you look at the global trade, there is a general consumer demand globally. And this has also led to general increase in production and also growth in exports, which means we are getting higher earnings. At the same time, it means we are also getting more economic gains and more economic power, which is there to assist the farmer and the value chain and the country. But as a farmer, when you look at how that economic power is distributed, it is skewed to other stakeholders in the value chain, but the farmer who I represent here, as the small-scale farmer, that constitutes 70% of the producers, they don't feel that economic power. And that is where the problem is, Your Excellency, that we need to look at that economic power. We make sure that it goes to the farmer who is down there. And we all agree, as I said earlier, avocado farming is a very lucrative business. And it also means that we are experiencing a lot of challenges as farmers. The first one is low prices, low producer prices, which are dictated elsewhere. Exporters just come and tell us this is the price we are going to give you. The farmer is not involved anywhere in deciding the price. The other one is high production costs. As you are aware, the farming of avocado is both capital and labor intensive. You have to till the land. Personally, I've employed 10 people and I pay them on a monthly basis. I have to apply manure, I have to do pest control and other things that go with it. So you find that it is labor and capital intensive. So the production costs go very high. Then something else, the business, Your Excellency, has been infiltrated by middlemen, brokers and cartels. And unfortunately, and I have to say this, some of the exporters, some of these brokers that come to the ground, they are sent by some of the exporters. And I'm very sorry to say that, but that is a fact of the matter. If you ask them, whom are you representing, they'll tell you we are selling to a certain company. They buy the avocados at a throwaway price. Right now they are buying at 5 bob per avocado. You take the whole year farming the avocados, somebody comes and buys at 3 bob, 5 bob, which is actually ile tunasema kukata mkulima mguu, then ama mkono. On our part, there is also a problem which we'll try to address, and this is harvesting immature fruits, and this is actually brought about by the brokers, because they'll come and tell you these avocados are mature, let's harvest them, and because you also want money, you find that you are tempted to do the harvesting. And the other one is we have very expensive irrigation systems which we have installed in our farms to mitigate against the erratic weather, and this is also costing us so much. Then we have lack of information, Your Excellency, on on market information, and we also don't have access to the global markets. That one is the preserve of the exporters and other stakeholders. And I think there's an area we need to look at so much. And the other issue I need to talk about, Your Excellency, and I said I'm sorry because of this, but I need to talk about is the exporters. Some of the exporters are very good, but some exporters are completely unreliable. They'll come and tell you we are going to buy at this price, we are going to buy at farm gate price, which means he is supposed to pay you before he leaves the farm, but he tells you now let me go and wash the fruits, then I'll pay you. But eventually the figure that you are going to be given is something totally different. Others, you come and pick the fruits, we'll pay you in 3 days' time, it will take 6 months. Back and forth, push and pull. So it becomes just some of them, and we know them, but we don't want to say the names right now. And we talked about fertilizers. We don't have any specific fertilizers for avocado. That is something we need to look at. And the farmers are not involved in the decision-making process along the value chain. Having identified that, I'm also a scholar, and I was told once you identify a gap, you have to address that gap. So we have identified a gap as small-scale growers, and we have decided to form an association called Kenya Avocado Farmers Association. And I'm very happy that I've been elected as the national chairman. This is works in progress. We are soon going to register that outfit. Then go to HCD and KFIs and all that for permits. Then from there, what we intend to do, our conceptual thinking is that at the county level, we already have components at the county level. They're already there. We transform them into cooperative societies, like Muranga Cooperative Society, Nyeri Cooperative Society. Then we integrate them at the national level under the Kenya Avocado Farmers Association. Your Excellency, what we are thinking about, and this is something visionary, we want to think about something like KTDA. How does KTDA learn the tea industry? We can have avocado correction centers at strategic areas. Then we can have pack houses in every county, strategically positioned. We can have oil extraction companies co-located within those pack houses in a way that we are able to collect those avocados from the farmer, take them, do value addition at the pack house. Whatever we call rejects or grade 2, we process them for oil, and from there we are able to market. So what we are looking at is in a way that we as farmers will be able to deal direct from the farmer to the consumer direct without these middlemen in between. And we're also looking at a situation where that the farmer will be involved in every decision-making process along the way. That is our vision. And with this, Your Excellency, what we are thinking about is, and what we want to recommend to the government, is that we need, these are the strategic interventions that we are requesting. We need to create an avocado production and marketing legal framework, which is not there. Right now we are at the HCD, which is still okay, but we need a standalone avocado production and marketing legal framework. Of course, under the guidance of HCD. The whole issue about that legal framework will be to create a conducive environment for the production and marketing of the avocados. Not really to control, not to regulate, but to create a conducive environment. Then that legal framework will also mitigate against these challenges I've talked about and many others, and we also be able to enhance the good agricultural practices within the avocado sector. And within that, Your Excellency, the issue of the GMR, it can also come there. And most important, one last point is that, Your Excellency, we want to recommend this: the establishment of Kenya Avocado Production and Marketing Authority. That will be captured in that particular legal framework, so as to look at the ecosystem along the value chain. The issue of the taxation, I don't want to talk about it, Your Excellency, but we thank you. I was listening to you on Sunday. You have the way forward. The GACHAGUA, they have the way forward, and we thank you very much for that. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel. I've given you more time for obvious reasons. So we go to aggregators, and I'll give Edward Boro a chance to make the presentation. Karibu.
Your Excellency, the Deputy President, CSS and our Member of Parliament, na wakulima na aggregators wenzangu, hamjambo. Mine, Your Excellency, will be very, I'll be precise. We are aggregators. Who are aggregators? Aggregators ni wale wafanyabiashara ambao wanakusanya mazao kwa wakulima wadogo wadogo wote na kuyakusanya pamoja na kuwapeleka katika exporters ama soko zingine. So we want to get out from that tag of being called brokers. If there are brokers who are working with exporters to go and do shoddy businesses with farmers, we are not there. We are registered traders. We do right business. We buy fruits and we sell them to exporters. Now, as we are the people who has taken the biggest burden, we are the people, sisi ndio ambao tunabeba information kwa wakulima wale wadogo wadogo. Mind you, Kenya, wakulima wengi wa parachichi ni wale ambao wako na miti 5, 10, 20, 100. Wachana na hiyo ya Canon. Hiyo ya Canon ni miti 1500, hata ajui aggregator, anaenda direct kwa exporter. Lakini kuna ule mama ako kwa ground, ule ako pale Kajuko, ule ako pale Murang'a, ule ako pale Madera, anangoja Edward ako na miti 2. Hiyo miti inaleta 1500. Mama ende akanunue dawa ya pressure ama alipe school fees. We are the people who come in as aggregators, and that's what we do. It is very legal, and wakulima ambao tunafanya kazi nao wako pamoja na sisi. Kitu ya pili, Bwana DP, sisi kama mimi hapa nimesimama leo, nimeandika vijana, and I'm think mimi ndio ule aggregator wako chini kidogo, nimeandika vijana 50, young women and men. Hawa vijana we interact nao kila siku. Vijana tumewaondoa kwa streets, vijana tumewaondoa kwa maploti huko, vijana wako busy. Starting February, that's 1st March, mpaka leo, vijana wako kwa mashamba, wanachuna matunda, wanaleta kwa mahali tumetengeneza our aggregation places na tunaziforward to our exporters. What am I trying to say? Sisi create employment through aggregation. Wale wanapanda miti, unaona mtu kama mimi naweza kupanda mti juu, si nitavunjikia huko. Vijana wako kazi, Bwana Deputy President 24/7. Sisi ndio tunacheza ile kazi umetupea kama watu wako. Tuondoe vijana kwa barabara, tuondoe vijana kwa deni za pombe, tuondoe vijana kwa mihadarati, wakuje wafanye kazi ya parachichi. Najaribu kusema hivi, wakati parachichi imefika mahali imeguzwa, mahali waheshimiwa wamesema kwamba that primary level, when you touch the primary level, unaguza wale vijana wa maito, wale siya maito, tunajaribu kuvitoa katika pombe, tunajaribu kuwa lift kwa maisha yao. Ujue sasa pale chini kila kitu imezambaratika. We are the people who are interacting with that, starting down the value chain of avocado, kuanzia kule chini tukielekea juu. Jambo la pili, sisi tunapigana mpaka na wezi wa avocado katika mashamba. Sisi ndio ambao tunatembelea na OCS wote. Hakuna OCS wa Murang'a ajui sisi, hakuna hata county commander anatujua, tunajulikana Bomet, tunajulikana everywhere, because sisi ndio wale watu tuko kwa ground, tunajua ni area gani wakulima wanaumia, area gani mazao yetu yanapotea. Sasa sisi tunaomba serikali, sisi kama ndio the link people, sisi ndio tuko na information. Exporters wakitoa bill huko, sisi ndio wanatupa, tunaenda kupatia wakulima kule chini. Wakati mwingine sisi ndio tunakaa katikati between the farmers na exporters. Tunaambia no, we cannot tell our farmers to buy, we buy this product at this price. So serikali ingie katikati. Recently tunashukuru serikali through Madam Shisharo, tumekaa miaka kadhaa without being registered. We are thankful you signed our letters. Association Avocado Aggregators Association of Kenya imetengenezwa. Tuko na branches kila mahali. Tuko na watu kutoka Bomet, Machakos, Murang'a, Meru, everywhere like 17 counties. Tunaomba serikali, kwa sababu washikadau wengine wataelezea kwa kindani pale chini, ambapo hapo ndio najua makamu wa rais uko na interest na wale watu wako wako pale chini. Kama kuna sheria ambayo itaguza mkulima ama iguze wale vijana ambao ni mavijana wako, kama saa hii nakuambia unasikilizwa na vijana zaidi ya 1,000,000 wamenyamaza, wanangojea sauti yako leo, na tuko sure wewe kama baba yetu lazima leo utatoka na solution. Lazima leo wakulima watalala vizuri, kwa sababu waheshimiwa wetu waliongea mbele na wakasema ya kwamba hakuna mtu anaweza soma Bible yote, lakini kuna mzee alisoma Bible yote mbele yako na ukampea kitu. Lakini tunasema hivi, hata kama hiyo sheria ilipita, hiyo point moja ambayo inaguza primary produce of a farmer, hiyo bwana makamu wa rais, hiyo uangalie vizuri na macho mawili, na value chain yote ya avocado, everybody is affected. You don't be told that farmer akisikia vizuri, ati aggregator atasikia vizuri zaidi, ama exporter. This is a value chain. Ni kama mwili tu, ukiumiza kidole kimoja umeumiza exporter kule juu, ukiumiza mguu mwingine aggregator ameumia. Kwa sababu wakati, nimewashukuru na Mungu awabariki.
Nafasi nampa Monyu wa Johi, Chairman Avocado Aggregators. Karibu.
Thank you so much. Our Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Mheshimiwa, our new brother, Rigathi, CS ambaye wako hapa, PS ambaye wako hapa, other leaders in this forum, ladies and gentlemen, habari zenu. Nafikiri Your Excellency, and I beg us to look at my face, we are growing old. Back in 2nd February 1980, that's when I took 4 boxes of avocado of Fuete and took them to airport. If you calculate how many years are those, I'm talking of 45 years old in that sector of horticulture. The rest, all others have gone. I'm the only remaining mzee in this sector. I say thank you to God, because God has made things happen the way I have been thinking all along before I erupt or I move from this sector. I just felt laughing because there is a main purpose that brought us here, and we should not waste time, and we do not shy to tell our real brother, because the Deputy President is our real brother. Your Excellency, if you don't tell your brother your problem, you are heading nowhere. There is a problem, and the problem is simple. We need to go to the chambers to do the necessary. I don't want to blame members of parliament, because you have been hearing the GACHAGUA meeting. It is me who called it. And I invited my sisters and my brothers. When I heard the noise from our mothers, I'm humbly conveying this message to you. We will rely with you, and we are on your shoulders. Those are the big stories of who is who are not important. Our request is simple. And this is the information from our mothers, our brothers, our sisters from the ground. Let us not be killed by this tax. If anything, let this government of ours look on alternative way of raising the money, but not touching the common hustler. That's the way it is. Mheshimiwa, I know we have come from far. Na hapo nitaongea. We knew things were bad when you entered the government. There was no money. Nothing had already been done. Lakini siku hizi Mheshimiwa, Your Excellency, things are changing. Si mbaya sana kama vile kulikuwa. Si mbaya Mheshimiwa. So now because things are not very bad, because you have agreed, I can tell you, this alone, the vessel that was to leave Mombasa was to go with 350 containers, 40 foot of avocado. To the surprise, we did not even manage 150 containers via that vessel. Wale wa mama Mheshimiwa, Your Excellency, nakwambia, we went there, walisema, we will not sell avocado, we are not ready to be invoiced. Wengine walijua wanaongea kikuwa, wengine wanaongea kamba. Waliuliza, unajua anaita Mheshimiwa Mwenyui, what is this? You know what I'm saying in English? They asked me, what is this? There was a problem, but we are now here not dwelling on the problem. Let's dwell on how are we going to sort the problem out. Fighting has no vitamin. At this stage, there is no vitamin. As we know, what do we do to sort the problem out? Mheshimiwa, and I'm saying that because we don't like to time to waste. By the way, this time I should be somewhere cutting avocado or doing something else. Here, we are happy because you will take lunch here. And I will not leave here without a quote from you. But I should not be here doing that. I should be here doing the right work to uplift the economy of this country. Ladies and gentlemen, whether you want it or not, you either deliver or you pack and go from this country. That's the way it is. You either assist the government or you quit. I remember, because if the age we are having, we are still pushing to uplift the economy of this country. What of you who are strong, educated, more than us? You have the capacity. I would not want even to talk much. Currently, and not currently, all along, since I started, I've been reading this group. And this group is not for the buyers alone. Please note that in every county in the whole country, Your Excellency, we have members. And the most funny thing, Your Excellency, no member contribute even a shilling to that group of the aggregators. There's no charges. I frontier whatever little I get to lead this country on nothing. I don't think many can be able to do that. And I start here because they are here. I stand here to be proved right or wrong because people know me. And I'm not here to become a millionaire. If I become a millionaire, fine and good. But you don't force money in your pocket. You let God bless you. And that's how we can manage this country of ours. I just want to make a humble request. History will tell. Yeah, history, let me just finish. History will tell because we are here to look at our mothers, our brothers and sisters. As I live here, I want to appreciate our members of parliament. Please allow me to say that. Because when I called them, Your Excellency, and I told them, and they heard it from our mothers, they agreed. Whoever never made a mistake, I don't stand here to blame the members of parliament. I stand here because we have agreed there is a problem. How can we sort the problem out? We move forward. The last one, I want to appreciate the office of HCD. I have seen it from down to top, even the office of the chairman of APA. I have no personal blame, even with my groups on HCDA and APA. They have delivered. People expect people to do miracles. There is no Hejo who has come down on earth. So we have to see whether somebody has delivered or not. So to me, as I sit, I humbly think, because I know everybody is waiting to hear the voice of the chairman. As you deliver, in the evening and tomorrow. I will communicate to them. There's a way I communicate to them. Through the media, through the TVs, through wherever. I want to deliver a message of hope to the common farmer. That is my only prayer. I deliver a message to whom, and God will bless us for whatever we do. I'm not a pastor. To whoever is saying he has a big shamba, it's no bad. This is about demand and supply. So as we conclude, thank you so much. I know we have a lot of people who are determined to deliver. Please, let's do justice to God, not to people, but to God. Because what we do here is justice to God, not to human beings. Thank you so much. May God bless you.
Sharon.
Our Excellency, Deputy President, allow me to call you Rigiji, and all protocol observed. Habari zenu. My names are Sharon Wanjiko. I'm a Kafura wa Makodo. Makodo is avocado in Kikuyu, and I stand here as a passionate person in the avocado industry. I love avocado all round, not just because it's a fruit, it's a nutritious fruit, but because it sponsors my life. As a young person, we know that agriculture, many youths have not embraced agriculture. This issue of e-teams, my beloved leaders, if we impose taxes on agricultural produce, are we making agriculture, let me use the word sexy because young people love sexy things. Are we making agriculture sexy for the young people? Are we making agriculture attractive to the young people? Are we? We will discourage the young people to indulge in agriculture if we impose taxes on agriculture. Agriculture is the backbone of this country. If we impose taxes, and yet, especially in the avocado industry, we don't have incentives that support avocados. So I would urge, as we've said, the elephant of this room is the issue of taxation. Yes, we need to develop our country ourselves, so we need to have taxes, yes, as a country, to be taxed and to increase the tax base. But let's exempt the agricultural produce, because at the end of the day, agriculture is an SDG that eradicates poverty, improves health, provides food, and economically sustains people. So I would urge that we exempt all agricultural produce from the taxes. Secondly, I'm an aggregator. As a young person, being born in a very, very humble background, and I love agriculture. I love avocado. So the way I entered this industry, I've been in this industry for 3 years only. The way I entered this avocado is because there was an avenue to be an aggregator. So my fellow big farmers and large-scale farmers, let's not point this aggregation role of the industry as brokerage, because sincerely speaking, I'm doing business in this industry. I pay the farmers, I sell my fruits to the exporters, and I get my profit from that. So I stand here very heartbroken that we are labeled as the wrongdoers of this industry. We play key roles. We caution the small-scale farmers from the challenges that this industry has. Recently, there was shortage of containers. I, as an aggregator, I had bought fruits from a farmer. I had paid the farmer. Taking my produce to the exporter, I'm told there's shortage of containers. Have I not cautioned the farmer from the challenge that we've experienced as an industry. Have I not? I have. So, us as aggregators, we caution the young and small-scale farmers from the challenges that this industry goes through. We take the biggest risk in this industry. In the rejection, now again I stand again as the Secretary of Avocado Aggregators Association of Kenya. Personally, I've seen the niches of this industry that we need to streamline this industry. It's a potential industry, it's an upcoming industry, and we should streamline it. How can we streamline this industry? My brother had said that we need a legal framework directed to avocado. My request, my humble request, Madam Cesaro and Bwana Rigiji, can we have a directorate for avocado that will be focused entirely on avocado, so that you can have research bases specifically for avocado. We can have a table of policy makers and regulators specifically for avocados, so that you can be able to streamline this industry. It has very huge potential. I've seen it, and that's why I will forever stay in this. I'm glad that I'm in this industry. Thirdly, in the matters of rejection, as an association, we have taken up the role to go and do training to the farmers and our harvesters, so that we can make sure that we are harvesting right, we are harvesting the best fruits, and we are transporting them the right way. We have the post-quality management. We have taken that role. So I will urge the government, I'll urge all members present here that you support us to be able to streamline and to make sure that we harvest good fruits, and to make sure that we improve our quality, so that you can have a competitive edge in the international market. Thirdly, avocado has employed so many young people. If we impose these taxes, I've seen people going into depression. I've seen people going into alcoholism. I've seen people going to crime because hatuna pesa. I'm speaking this because I have a member of my family that has been affected by alcoholism. And it's so hurtful to see that the little things that we can do in the agriculture or other places, even not just agriculture, are being imposed to discourage us to do the right thing and to have money in our pockets, so that we move away from depression. These people who you are seeing getting into alcoholism, it's depression that has led them there. Depression because of what? They cannot provide for their family. They cannot put food on their table. They don't have shelter. Bwana Rigiji, as a young person, please exempt agricultural produce from the taxes. At the moment, the ETMs has been implemented. Our humble request again, we would request that as the MPs akina Bwana Mureu wa Maua, Bwana Chege Jogona, as you push the agenda in the parliament, can we have a halt of this implementation until this matter is reviewed and amended? Thank you and be blessed.
Your Excellency, if you allow, we have 2 more exporters, a shipping line representative, and 2 processors, and I'll be done. So the next online is Samson Mureithi, chairperson of Avocado's Exporters Association. Karibu.
Good afternoon. Deputy President of the Government of Kenya. CS is present, MP is present, exporters present, all protocols observed, and our farmers. Good afternoon. Mheshimiwa Deputy President, we take this opportunity to sincerely thank you for finding time to meet us despite your busy schedule. It's an honor. The Avocado Exporters Association is registered in this country under the Societies Act, Cap 108, and its activities are governed by Board of Directors. As an industry, we seek your assistance on important matters that affect us and avocado industry at large, which if addressed, will help industry growth. Avocado exports have become a vital component of our country's agricultural economy, contributing substantially to foreign exchange earnings and rural livelihoods. Despite sector's growth and potential, we still face below obstacles which require strategic intervention and support from the government. One is ETIMS, market access, regulator, KRA, and KPA. If you allow me, the introduction of ETIMS to avocado farmers in Kenya involves integration of digital platform to their invoicing and tax reporting processes. This could have several implications and challenges for avocado farmers, and hereby leading to complexity and resistance of ETIMS compliance implementation from the roots, who are the farmers, to the avocado exporters. We request to be allowed to continue our business uninterrupted as KRA further engages and educates the stakeholders, farmers, on smooth implementation process. We have challenges in ETIMS. One is resistance and challenges in technology adoption, where many avocado farmers may not be familiar with electronic invoicing systems. They would need training and support to adapt to using ETIMS effectively and remove resistance. Farmers are also required to have KRA PIN and smartphones, of which most of them don't have. We request involvement of other stakeholders in the engagement so arising issues can be addressed collaboratively. Infrastructure and connectivity. Access to reliable internet connectivity and digital infrastructure may be limited to some rural areas where avocado farming is prevalent. Farmers may face challenges in accessing and using ETIMS without adequate connectivity and infrastructure. Next one is compliance requirements. Avocado farmers would need to ensure compliance with the tax regulations and the reporting requirements set forth by the government through ETIMS. This may involve understanding how to generate and submit electronic invoices, maintain proper records, and comply with tax filing deadlines. To address these challenges, the government of Kenya and relevant stakeholders would need to provide adequate support, training, and infrastructure to avocado farmers. This might include offering training programs, subsidizing costs associated with ETIMS adoption, improving internet connectivity in rural areas, and ensuring data security and privacy measures are in place. Additionally, creating awareness campaigns and progressive provision of assistance can help avocado farmers successfully integrate ETIMS into their operations. We believe that addressing these issues collaboratively will not only benefit the avocado export industry, but also contribute to the overall economic development and prosperity of our nation, Kenya. Your Excellency, we are requesting for implementation deferment. Number 2 is market access. Expanding access to new international markets and addressing trade barriers that hinder the competitiveness of our avocado exports. 1. Regulatory framework. Streamlining regulatory processes and ensuring a conducive policy environment that fosters the growth of avocado industry while maintaining high standards of food safety and environmental sustainability. We request to be involved in negotiations for bilateral trade agreements. Some existing agreements have been challenging, especially on issues of taxation and compliance. For example, charging 30% duty on commercial invoice for every consignment destined to India, China markets, and other emerging markets. Number 3 challenge we have HCD and KEFIS. We are facing below challenges both from Horticultural Crops Directorate and KEFIS, Kenya Plant Health Inspectorate Services. One is synchronization and double inspection. 2 is capacity building. 3 is sustainability and quality control and assurance. Both institutions lack enough inspectors and infrastructure. For example, vehicles and dry matter test machines to facilitate the inspections that have now been made mandatory by both regulatory bodies, thus causing delays in response and dispensations of services within the industry. Additionally, KEVIs are charging facilitation fees plus mileage per kilometer, 58 shillings and 50 cents from JKIA. Yet this should be a free government service. We propose, Your Excellency, that inspection points be established where exporters can deliver samples for testing, or when HCD confirms produce has attained the threshold of an export, an express phytosanitary certificate is issued. It is our request to have HCD delinked from AFA and perform as the original HCDA, and when that happens, we, the exporters of fresh produce, express interest of representation on the board. This will give us an opportunity to contribute during policy formulation discussions, thereby avoiding resistance to adoption of new policies, which sometimes are impractical in nature. Addressing these challenges requires coordinated efforts from both HCD and KEFIS, as well as collaboration with other relevant stakeholders, including farmers, exporters, research institutions, and government agencies. Last but not the least, KRA and KPA. Avocado exporters are facing a lot of challenges at the port. Delays in handover due to KPA, KRA, and Kentrade systems failures, and numerous documents brought about by the over-regulation by HCD and KEFIS. Customs clearance have become long, tedious, and punitive. Recently, a long list of documents has been made mandatory in order to allow our containers into the port. This includes HCD clearance, export certificate, phytosanitary certificate, port health, custom entry, among others, all being required before handover, unlike in the past. This increase in documentation and complication of the handover processes has brought about many containers missing the vessel's cut-off times, which affects our quality, the shelf life, and the country's credibility in the international markets. Our neighboring countries, e.g. Tanzania, that use the port of Mombasa for export of avocados only require customs entry for clearance, thus being simpler and more efficient than us in our own ports. We hope and trust, Your Excellency, that these above issues are addressed. They will help spur growth in our industry, hence creating more jobs and foreign exchange. Thank you so much.
Asante sana. Sasa nimuta Antipat, na kama uko na nakala ambayo imeandikwa, naomba tusisome, tusipeane kwa sababu sinaweza soma, ili uweze kupatiana presentation yako kwa muda mdogo sana. Tafadhali.
Thank you. Your Excellency, we appreciate and we thank you that you got time to spend with us. Thank you, CSS and PS, and the stakeholders here present. I represent the exporters, most of who are here and those who are not here. We are an association that brings together traders in the fresh produce industry. We have a bit of shared work that we delivered together, but we are here to make one humble request. And before the request, just to let you know that nobody among the exporters or the value chain actors is against payment of tax to the value chain upstream. We have a problem with tax implementation at the primary level. The exporters they are in will tell you they are already paying their taxes. They are submitting their returns. They are doing everything. What is disrupting us is that we are not able at the moment to receive produce from farmers for two reasons. One, the farmers need to give the exporters and the aggregators their PIN certificate numbers. Mr. President, Deputy President, I want to say this, that the farmers have been told, if you give out your PIN, your land is being sold. For that reason, we are not able to get produce to fill containers, and our produce is stuck in the farms. This needs to be clarified. Number two, we deliberately reached out to some of the farmers, and one of them is Faith and Wamboi from Kinyuri and Odaya, from your backyard, so that they are able to explain to you, perhaps in the mother tongue, in a language you can understand, that this business is getting frustrated by virtue of the implementation of the Finance Act, particularly number 23, clause 23A. We are requesting this way, that we put on hold, suspend the implementation of that specific clause, praying that the members of parliament here present make true their request of amending that legal provision based on the legal provision through the parliament framework. If we get that, then we're in business. She has mentioned we have 157 billion we got this year. We are in danger, Deputy President. Our competitors who are our neighbors are taking advantage every day of every single blunder we do. And once they get to that market, we lose the market. Our exports for beans and peas have gone down instead of increasing. The only export that we are currently seeing an upward trend is avocado. We do not want to go that direction. We want to do anything humanly possible to support the country in ensuring this goes high. To Madam CS, we have a challenge when it comes to market, and I'm happy Christine is here and CS Chelugui here. We do not have market budgets for market access. Piers, I'm sure you know the battle we had to go to Berlin this year. We did not give Christine peace. If we are not in a marketplace, we are not going to sell anything. The rest of the things we're doing here is a PR exercise. These exporters need to get to Berlin every February. We are going to May this year. Christine does not have a budget. And then when we go to the market, we have a kiosk in the name of a Kenyan stand. We have an embassy that has not been empowered. They can't do anything apart from talking to us. Out of 57 billion we gave government through HCD, government has given us zero in return to develop the industry. Zero. We're not asking for too much. If you give us 1%, if you give us 2%, or give us 3% of that money and say, please go back and develop the industry, we can sit here 1 year down the line and we can demonstrate to you that this industry works. They have mentioned the issues of taxes. Beyond other things, we have a challenge. These exporters are not getting tax refunds. Our biggest problem is 20th, which is tomorrow. We need an answer. Tomorrow, all these exporters must submit their returns to carry. If they don't, everything they have spent is going to be considered profit and not an expense. So an executive order, whatever consultation needs to happen like yesterday. And that is what we're saying. We're glad that this meeting is here. And we are unable to move. Our industry is actually supported by development partners. The government of Kenya has less than 3% of the budget allocated to agriculture. You can check. Again, request your own protocol of 10% allocation to the agriculture in the sector. Out of that, less than about 2.5%. Out of that, HCD has to come back to us for us to buy space, to get space. Exporters give you 0.025% of the export value that they give you every day before we export. And they are here, they can confirm. Before the export, we are invoiced and we must pay through your pay bill number for the system to accept the cargo to be uploaded. Now, when you ask us again to be agents of the government in terms of tax and record keeping, which we have not been guided, it becomes very complex. Our humble submission, all of us here, we work for the government, we want to support your effort, we want to support everything, but the Minister of Agriculture, as they have said, needs to come with us and sit together and say, friends, trade, cooperatives, can we have a get together and say, how do we make doing business in this country a real practical experience and not a barrier? Some of what we are doing, Mr. Deputy President, with all due respect, we are bringing technical barriers where they are not supposed to be by virtue of so many protocols. Our neighbors are not just watching, they have taken the market. They have hired our Kenyans are the ones championing their exports. So that I submit, I just want to say this, and I'm glad that Mufam is here. He did a good job. Kamau, you can send a video, man. It's good to recognize those who have supported us, to be able to get, Kamau is here, he was able to really help us to get this meeting together, and we want to appreciate. And perhaps with your permission, Banamlango, with your permission, the Deputy President was not here by the time we're doing introduction. If I can just ask the exporters to rise up. This is just a sample of the exporters that are in the room, a sample. Christine has more than 600 exporters on her database. You can be seated. And then we have aggregators, we have farmers, we have everyone. We want to submit to you, Mr. Deputy President, so that I go down and sit. Kindly, let everything that government does not contradicting what we signed under WTO. And most critically, we are in a competitive world. The shipping agent who is coming to speak to you will tell you that if HCD closes the season and opens the season, the reason why we have shortage of the containers is because these people could not place orders for the containers on advance because they didn't know when we are opening the season. And for that reason, the shipping agents cannot bring containers and keep them idle in Mombasa. So it's going to take us another 2 weeks, up to the 1st or 2nd week of April, for us to stabilize. In the meantime, what happens? Our competitors, Peru, when they get into the market, they take over the market. Lastly, please, empower HCD with more capacity. Empower KEFIS with more capacity. We don't pay mileage through HCD, but we have to pay mileage through KEFIS. And yet they are visiting the same people. So, Banapias, even in your office, you can find a way of giving KEFIS a budget so that they don't charge us mileage. We will be happy. And if not, then delegate that responsibility where the budget is. And we have worked very well, this is my tail end, with our embassies out there. A challenge, Madam Miano, the entire Europe, and perhaps fears, and for purposes of record, Kenya has only 2 agricultural officers, attaches, 2. One based in Rome, one based in Brussels, to take care of 27. I was at State House when we were signing the EPA. What do you do with the 27 countries with only 2 officers? And we do not have a trade attaché in Geneva where deals are signed. So if we don't have a trade attaché in Geneva, and Geneva is where business is negotiated, so exactly what are we saying as a country? Could we take stock and say, where do we need these trade attachés to be able to articulate our issues? The officer in Geneva is a good, hard-working officer, but he's from Foreign Affairs. He has to wake up in the morning, move from one meeting to the other. So we submit that we need to have a proper dialogue. And back to my point 1, let's put on hold the implementation of that specific clause until further notice to allow consultation. Thank you.
We have Bev from Mask. Then we have two final people to speak on behalf of the processors. Then I hand over the remainder of the session.
Your Excellency, all protocols observed. At Mask, we offer integrated end-to-end solutions for logistics. Specifically for avocados exports, we support this valued industry with an efficient and well-monitored cold supply chain from pack houses all over Kenya onto the vessel and sail all the way to the final country of discharge. We are here to support this industry amidst a lot of challenges. Right now, we all know what is happening at the Red Sea. And I know two things have been brought up. Containers, increased freight, that I don't buy because we did not increase our freight. But it is a situation which is not under our control. What I'm requesting here today is whatever is in control at the land side, and that is in Kenya, please let us support all the stakeholders, the farmers, the aggregators, the exporters. How? It is taking me about 8 weeks or thereabout, speaking about Mask, to bring containers from Europe into this country for us to be able to do the exports. In the past, we used to rush to Jeddah and the nearby places, 9 days we have the containers. That is not happening now with the Red Sea. So when I speak to my exporters, what they tell us is there's uncertainty. They do not know when the season will be open, so they can't give me the numbers, and a lot of issues. So if only we can support with what we have here, then we can be able to see how we can be able to manage the situation which is not under our control. Now, in regards to the farmers, I would like to assure you, as Maskline, we've not just left the situation to go off hard. We've tried our best, we'll continue trying, and we shall make sure that for the rest part of the season, as much as possible, we have the containers that we require in this country to do export. Your Excellency, the containers that we use for export of avocados are special containers and not just the standard containers, which we do not use with our imports. And thus the issue of shortage. We have issues surrounding to processes, and this is in respect to the system management. It has been brought about by, I think Samson brought it out very clearly. For us to be able to take a container from Thika and take it to Mombasa and load on our vessel, we have to comply. And to comply, we mean a lot of documentation and systems processes that we have to work with. Please help us to have systems that are working so that I do not move with a container all the way from Thika to Mombasa and just get stuck at the gate because of one system which is down and I can't get in. We've had support in the past, but we need the support even much more now because a unit left with avocados in this port, 1 week, it will be stuck there until we get another vessel. And that will be 1 week added to the already increased transit time, which unfortunately, because of security of both humans and cargo on board, it has to be long. We are using the Cape of Good Hope. Thank you, Madam Christine. You've been consulting us on a lot of decision making. Please consult the shipping lines, because if you consult us, we are able to offer some of the solutions. We operate globally, and as such, we see more. Today, we know when we are booking for Peru, for Mexico, and for Colombia. So if you come and ask me, I'll be able to tell you, the cargo of living for Kenya now, for sure, you'll hit the market jointly with Peru. Could you have avoided that? Depends on what parameters you are looking at. But yes, we could. Let's work using the information. Information is power. We at MASC, we are ready to collaborate, work with all the stakeholders, offer information because we have feasibility beyond Kenya. And when we work together, it is for the growth of everyone. Every person who have come here has spoken about growth. And growth is only going to be realized if we all work as a team. If we all work and share information from one another, then we can strategically position ourselves as Kenya fruit or Kenyan fruit in Europe and be able to compete. Move from the number 6 and come even to number 1. Thank you.
I'm now the last 2 speakers. The processors, Stephen Githaiga, 3 minutes please. He will be followed by Lucy Jerry. Then I hand over the session to Waziri Chelugui.
Your Excellency, CSEs, present PSEs, other government officials, all protocols observed. I think mine will be very brief. I represent the processors. Processors are the people in the industry who add value. Over and above exporting the avocado, we take the avocados that cannot be exported and process them to oil. We've been given statistics, Your Excellency, that we are number 6 on avocado, fresh avocado export, but for processing avocado oil, Your Excellency, Kenya is number 2 in the world after Mexico. And I can tell you, Your Excellency, I personally see Kenya being number 1 in oil processing in the world, because most of the fruits that our neighbors also produce are ending up in Kenya. We've also been told, Your Excellency, about the industry, the importance of the horticultural industry in this country. But I also want to reiterate without repeating that the horticulture industry is the number 1 foreign exchanger in this country. I stand to be corrected. It's above tourism. It's above tea and coffee. And hence, what I'm trying to say is that we should take the horticulture industry with the seriousness it deserves, knowing that how much foreign exchange that this country requires over and above to the job creation that it creates. Avocado is also a high value product, Your Excellency. Currently, compared to other horticultural products, 1 acre of avocado, in minimum, those farmers who are here will tell you that they earn a minimum of 1 million shillings on an acre. Compare it with maize, compare it with coffee, compare it with tea. Some of us are in both ends. You'll see that avocado really contributes quite a lot to the bottom of and above just assisting the government in foreign exchange and jobs. Having said that, Your Excellency, without repeating, As processors and also exporters, we have been told about the challenges that face exporters, but also on the processors, since we export, we are also having a challenge on the tedious and numerous documentations that we have to undergo with HCDA, KFIS, KPA, KRA, and we request that we harmonize the process. Just to give you an example, for example, for you to export a container out of any pack house, whether it's oil, whether it's fresh, you have KFIS, first of all you have HCDA coming to inspect the fruits. The same day or the same following day, KFIS comes to inspect the same fruits to give you export documents. And worst case, and they are doing a good job, if it's a Saturday or a Sunday and these are perishable goods, you are stuck with your container in your pack house, and Maersk is there. They have given us a cutoff that the container has to be in Mombasa by Monday or Tuesday. HCDA is not available to do that inspection. So we request harmonization of those duplicated processes. We also have the challenge of closure and opening of the season. Without repeating what my predecessors had said, I think we need to dialogue more on this and even see whether we can get away with the closure and opening of the avocado season. The reason I'm saying this is that every region, Kenya has it has its months or period in the world market. We have to export our avocados before Peru. If it's Peru, they have their own space. They have their own months. So if we get the timing wrong and we open or close the season when other players whom we are competing with have come, then we lose. For information, Your Excellency, maybe they are here quietly, the exporters. Almost 10 of us now exporters have gone to the neighboring country, Tanzania, to export fruits from there because maybe the processes are seamless, and secondly, the issue of the documentation are not as challenges as we are encouraging here in our home country. Coming back to avocado oil processors, we would request if we can be assisted by the counties through the central government. We are having a big challenge on the waste management of avocado oil. So we are having a big challenge because almost 90% of what we process is waste. It's not harmful, but it's waste, and the counties cannot allow us to put that on the sewer lines. So we can be assisted in waste areas where we can be able to discharge that. I think we'll be grateful. Your Excellency, we are also challenged as exporters with VAT refunds. Yeah, all agricultural products are exempted from VAT, but the processing material that we produce, we use, cartons and the rest have to pay VAT and later request for refunds. Most of us here, Your Excellency, unless you are in an EPZ zone, you cannot be able to get those VAT refunds timely from KRA, hence affecting our cash flow, and would request that we can be able to get those refunds timely. Last but not least, Your Excellency, I have reiterated at the beginning the importance of HCDA. What I would request again is if we can be able to make HCDA as an authority. The members of parliament are here, and it's unfortunate that Mama County is, the former Mama County is not available. Madam Chege, she had presented a bill where HCDA was to be an autonomous and be able to get its own board where even us as industry players would participate in the decision making and the growth of the industry. So if that bill can be reactivated, as we look at the E-Teams bill, if that bill also of getting HCDA autonomous will appreciate quite a lot. So thanks a lot and God bless.
Lastly, Lucy, useme tu kitu ambayo haijasema tafadhali, tusirundie. Karibu.
Your Excellency, the Deputy President of Kenya, all CSAs present, all PSAs present, all MPs, members of County Assembly, all protocols observed na wananchi wenzangu, hamjamboni. I will only focus on one ask, which I think I have to emphasize on. Involvement of stakeholders in key policy making. A lot of these problems that we are addressing here could have been avoided if there was dialogue in these decisions being made. For example, E-Teams. If we were involved, someone would have noticed that if this thing caters across the whole agricultural produce, there might be a problem here. The lack of involvement is bringing us down, is bringing us back to the drawing board. The second one is during bilateral trade agreements, negotiations, things are decided on the table where stakeholders are not involved. Such things affect us. For example, we get a market for China, Your Excellency, but then it is for frozen product. We are not able to do frozen product. We go back to the drawing board. We get a market for China, but it is a market for fruit that needs to be fumigated. The fumigation process affects the quality of the fruit. Again, we go back to involvement of stakeholders in policy making decisions. The last but not least, HCD and AFA, they have a board, I don't know, HCD, we would like to be in their board so that when they're discussing issues that affect avocado, then we can give input to avoid going back and forth. The opening and closing of the season, for example, it is a good thing. We appreciate the effort being made to bring our quality at par with the industry. However, if you close our avocado export season from September all the way until March, and then open it when Peru is starting, really, we cannot offer good prices because we cannot also sell at good prices. If we were consulted as to when to open or close, or even whether it is necessary to open and close, we avoid this whole debacle of going back and forth. Dry matters, you know, we have right now the regulation to have a dry matter of 24. Such issues can be addressed before they become policy, and we can give our input that affects the business directly, it affects the prices we offer, it affects us. But it's because we are not involved in policy making, we're not involved in the decision making, and brings us back to this point. So I'll be very brief. That is my only ask. Involve us. Watuongeni pamoja so that we can make laws that make sense, so that we are able to do things and move, not make a law then go back to change it. Let's move forward without wasting time. Thank you very much. This is a very good initiative, and we really appreciate that you're hearing us. This is part of the involvement that we're requesting. Asante sana.
Waziri Charugui akija kule kwetu Kirinyaga tunasema kwamba tumaini ya mbwa huisha jiko likifungwa. Kama jiko halijafungwa bado kuna tumaini. Mkiona Rigiji hapa kuna tumaini. Mkiona mawaziri kuna tumaini, si ndio? Na mkiona bunge wenu hapa kuna tumaini. Kwa hiyo mengi ni machache, na mwalika waziri wetu Bwana Charugui tuendelee na hicho kipindi kingine. Asanteni sana.
Haya, tumpatie makofi. Let's appreciate Mheshimiwa Murango. Hiyo imetosha kweli? Asante sana. Ama tumekaa sana, si tuamke tukimpigia makofi. Amefanya kazi nzuri sana. Haya, 1 2 3. Asante. Funga. Fungua. At least tumesimama na stretch kidogo. We can take our seats. Asante sana. I think this is a very important meeting. Do you agree with me? I've heard so many things. Some even new words. Some said, one person said, fighting has no vitamin. I think I picked that one. So we've had so much, and I think we are in good space. When I listen to every speaker here, I hear a voice of concern, a voice of commitment, and a voice of determination to succeed. I've heard from private sector to the farmers, I see a lot of passion. I see a lot of anxiety to succeed. Everybody here feels like Kenya is not in its rightful position. We can go higher, we can grow, we can go better. And that is the desire of this administration. When we talked about value chain approach, when we talked about bottom-up economic transformation agenda, we are talking about specific value chains. We have done some work on coffee, which is also a priority value chain. We have done some work on the dairy sector, and we have also picked on the emerging produce, avocado, and also the macadamia, as we progress the management of our value chain. So to the speakers, I'll also be giving you our perspective, having listened to yourselves and the areas that are still need some support or government intervention. I will be able to give our perspective. So, but before I do that, allow me to invite the Principal Secretary, the Ministry of Agriculture, Dr. Paul Rono, to also come up here to speak to us from the Ministry of Agriculture perspective. We've talked about production and extension services at the farm level. And these are issues that would need serious attention by the Ministry of Agriculture, and the PS is here on behalf of the CS to speak to us in relation to production. So let us appreciate our Principal Secretary, Dr. Paul Rono.
Okay, thank you, CS. His Excellency the Deputy President, Honorable GACHAGUA, the CS is present, Honorable Rebecca Miano and Simon Chelukui, members of Parliament who are present here, the whole team of the avocado sector, my team from the Ministry of Agriculture, the team from the county government, and the farmers. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon. You know you are farmers, and I believe you are the people who produce food, and I guess there is food after this meeting. Do you have energy? First of all, let me really appreciate this meeting called by the Deputy President, because this is a very rare meeting of engagement. Your Excellency, this meeting is very rare. In our office, we have such meetings, but they are very hot meetings, very hot, because the farmers really need support, facilitation, and they've listened to your government, and they are with us. It's a very rare engagement. My CS sent his apologies. He was handling another critical meeting on fertilizers, and from some voices here you have heard story of fertilizers, but it's a big story outside, and the CS requested that he remain to chair that meeting so that there is order and direction in that critical program which your government gave directives, and we are on it. Your Excellency, the Deputy President, it is a fact that agriculture plays a very critical role in transforming the economy of this nation and also in the world. And this government, the way you have put agriculture at the top, is a clear indication that farmer voices and all other stakeholders who are participating in transforming this country on matters agriculture will get time, space like today. This is a very rare engagement, and Your Excellency continue engaging, because when you came to the sector of coffee, you are able to address matters to do with coffee, and the coffee sector is now aligned. You also went to the sector of tea, and the sector of tea is now aligned. I know, Your Excellency, on matters to do with dealing with the farmers, and based on your directives, farmers come first, because we believe that working with farmers will be able to transform this economy. And as a Minister of Agriculture, Your Excellency, we have taken this initiative so seriously, to an extent that almost twice a week we are outside to really feel these farmers, because the ground is different. We learned that the ground is different. And these farmers, Your Excellency, they need very little facilitation because they are doctors in farming. Then they go to the farm in the morning without telling them to go to the farm. And they till and produce food and change the economy. It is a fact that 70% of our rural employment is from agriculture. And somebody talked about it here, how avocado is really changing the employment sector. It's also a fact that 40% of the average of employment come from agriculture. It's also a fact that our economy, over 50% is agri-based. And that one, Your Excellency, the Ministry of Agriculture and my department, we have taken this so seriously to an extent that there is no sleeping. And the language of the farmers is a very simple language. Wanaongea Kiswahili. Wanasema umenunua, umeuza, umelipa, umeenda kwa shamba, umelima, eka ngapi. Hiyo ni lugha yao. Many of them hata hawana digital hub, hawana simu ile mzuri, hawaoni television. They even told us when you are watching news at night, tumelala kwa sababu tumechoka kwa shamba, tulikuwa kwa shamba. But there is something they said when you are with my CS, whenever we go around. They normally say dunia imesonga. So tukasema kwa Kiswahili ni kumaanisha nini? Wakasema kama kuna kitu hii serikali imefanya na imekusa mwananchi ya kawaida na hasa mkulima, ni maneno ya subsidized fertilizer. Wakasema kwa hivyo sisi wakulima tumesonga na serikali mapema. So kusema dunia imesonga, kumbe kusema sisi tumesonga na serikali, kwa sababu they really felt that support. And in all our engagement, their language is saying, tukisalimiana wanauliza umelima eka ngapi. Kama uchalima, mkutano inakwisha. That is a farmer. That is how serious they are. And Your Excellency, when you see the long use in the fertilizer, it is that seriousness, engagement, and they have seen what the government is doing. Let me mention something on fertilizer just before I go to this, because I know we are called PS and CSS for fertilizers, because that is what is on the line now all over. Your Excellency, through the directive of the government, the Ministry of Agriculture sat with the county government, because agriculture is devolved, to identify the type, the quality, and the number of fertilizers required by this country for this year. And we ended up in 12.5 million bucks. For the short rain, there are 7.5 million. In terms of really engagement of the farmers and the way the country is seasoned, January to February is the lower counties of Narok, Bomet, Kisii, Nyamira, and the rest of the western. And then come to March onwards up to April is the North Rift region, and then May onward to June is the central part of this country, and then the rest, as all areas, is from July going forward. But things have changed. The pattern of the rain pattern have changed, I think, because of prayers. And now there is an influx. Everybody is farming, and that is a hitch which we caught, but we have adjusted. And there is something Chelugui mentioned, and I think someone else mentioned about some challenges across the world, the global on transport, the Red Sea issue. It really affected us. But from your directives which you gave recently and the intervention, we are able now to see within the next 2 weeks we'll be able to solve the problem of the fertilizers and the long queues the farmers are facing. And farmers are also saying some do not get e-voucher, and we have employed 300 casuals through National Cereals and Produce Board to really be in every center to make sure that the fertilizers, the farmers having challenges are addressed immediately so that farmers could get e-vouchers. You heard about the issue of fertilizers for avocado. I think it is an area we have provided fertilizers for all crops, but we can still look at the ingredients the avocado farmers may need. We could be, if there is uniqueness, because we believe on serious research for every fertilizer we are providing so that they meet the right quality in terms of our soil texture and soil structure, and also in terms of our crops. Your Excellency, I think the MPs here, while you are away, they've talked and they got a lot of bonga points. They have really moved deep into matters to do with farmers. And from the time we have been in the Ministry of Agriculture, we have received a lot of support from everybody, including the MPs and the county government. It's a very rare engagement. And the farmers' fraternity in groups, in associations like this one, they have been engaging with us so that we solve this problem once and for all. And I like what the MPs have said in terms of looking at the issue of wheat times, because the farmers have come not only for avocados. I know you are farmers for avocados, lakini huko chini kila kitu, kila farmer, especially small scale, have a story. And I know, Your Excellency, government is a house of wisdom. The parliament, the two houses, are also houses of wisdom. And from what they have said, I know we'll sit together and a solution will be arrived at, which will be supportive to all of us. I don't want to talk too much about that. There is something they have been discussed here, Your Excellency, on matters to do with extension services. It is a fact that when agriculture was devolved, and most of the key implementers went to the county, it has been a challenge. Because sometimes when you go to meet the farmers, they normally say, we thought extension services went with Moi. We don't see it. So we've been engaging the county government to really assist us to see how best we can provide extension services. This matter of quality and quantity is on agricultural practices, the agronomies. If you don't get it right from the farm, it will be very hard for HCDA to accept your product. And we saw this, Your Excellency, and I think they've been engaging on employment of 1450 extension services. And it is still under discussion and consultation, because we believe that there is need for all of us to team up and see how best can we support the farmer so that we can really achieve on the government plan when it comes to food security. We realize that food security is the biggest insecurity any nation could discuss about. Because without food, even if you come with all the arms to fight people who are hungry, they will decide to die. Because whichever way, they will die. So, the way this government has put this agenda on food security, Your Excellency, I want to mention that when I am with the chair of agriculture, Daktari, when we are passing the budget, John, we ask ourselves many questions on how best we can support farmers when it comes to really the budget element. And it may not be e-times alone, Your Excellency. We may need to look at, we have done some studies across the world, and we have realized that we need to support farmers in a big way. Most of the developed economies,
they have given a lot of attention to farmers. And I think the plan this government has given is a good plan. And I think we look at everything else so that we see our best as a ministry, we can work together to see how to support the farmers. The other one, Your Excellency, is increasing production. What happened when we look at the old value chain, we sat down in the Ministry of Agriculture with all other ministries like the Ministry of Trade, the Ministry of Cooperative, the Ministry of Transport, because we realized that we need to produce as one. And we look at the role of everybody. And the role of ministry is to produce. So on production, what we have done as a ministry is to make sure that we get quality variety products. And for avocado, there's a problem on seeds. And we have identified farms where we can work with Candro to produce quality seeds, variety seeds for high production. And I believe, Your Excellency, on that item alone, we'll be able to, there is something they are not saying on seeds for avocado. Quality seed with high production at the same time resilient.